Okay, God showed me this snake as a kind of precursor to the serpent seed theory, and it's in a part that's close to us. And this is the curious part here that it was like emphasising, which looks like a man's appendage. This doesn't discredit the traditional Bible translation in one way, because like Eve to the seed, so that's just what's been downloaded to me. And also the falling apple with Sir Isaac Newton, there's some link between that and yeah, so it must have got lost in translation. This is Major Tom to ground control. Christ sent Major Tom, a replacement kingdom spouse, or so I think, or someone like a friend. He's sending him in faith. Christ made it clear that this man was of him, someone God said that I needed to teach to love. And it's almost like I've had a total eclipse of the heart, because my ex-prodigal wanted to stay with his partner, and it's been going on like 3 years now, and he keeps like rejecting the promise, and he's chosen now, and I think God's sent this other guy in to replace him. I took the fact that God said I needed to love this person quite literally, and he was very scared of lifting his head up in the helm, and he had handlers in physical realm along with him as well, and I used a pillow to hold him and mentally projected rubbing his back, slowly smoothing over his skin and slowly working his way down to his stomach and shoulders. I gave him a hug using my pillow, and I felt my ex-kingdom spouse sitting between him and him, almost like a jam sandwich. He was getting very turned on, and stroked him down below. I was getting all sorts of guilty feelings, as his seed smell wasn't the same as my ex-prodigal's, and I felt bad, but I enjoy giving him attention just the same. But it didn't go all the way sexually, as there was a demonic sexual heat in the helm, which I think is to do with my prodigal being with his partner, the counterfeit that was then, but it isn't now because he chose her. So it's like and something was revealed that he could be like a demonic kingdom spouse. So, and I'm so sick of saying kingdom spouse, because my ex-prodigal is handled by his current wife. He stays on the fence and does what he is commanded to do by his wife. Me and my unkingdom spouse had started teaching Major Tom about the Gospels, as he was on the fence, and said about lifting his face up and taking the realm all day. I think I was having a back and forward conversation, something about him being rude, and I says, are you suffering with small man syndrome? And this is in physical life. The handlers saw that he was acting differently, and Major Tom started to beat the crap out of one of his handlers, and he says he had supersonic strength, which gave him Dutch courage to keep his head up and keep going with being helmed. Helmed is an energy on your head that's like microwave strength. Doesn't kill you, but it pretty hurts much, and just makes you feel dizzy and stuff. And the more you are helmed, the more pain in your body you feel, to the point where you are dizzy and feel totally blocked. So I just repeated that. Well, 3 days ago, my ex-prodigal went more towards his unkingdom spouse, and I was getting visions of him choosing his unkingdom wife, that he would lose his real estate and all the money that was accumulated, and all the victims he had perpetrated, and would end up using his unkingdom spouse too, and he was starting to feel suicidal. So God was showing a vision that if he went the way of death against this promise, like he's actually choosing death, which is still strange, because like he loves this person and he wants to stay with her. but it's going to lead to death. I'll lose everything, and something's coming anyway, the flip of the tide, when this helm has actually been sorted out and switched off, which is not as simple as what it seems. I woke up this morning with him feeling weak after having demonic sex with his own kingdom wife all night. I started giving neutral sexual attention between Major Tom and my ex-prodigal, because I didn't want to hurt Major Tom as I was crying over a possible death with my ex-kingdom spouse, and I didn't want to put Major Tom as second best. I will not join the coven, so I was getting round hard. I woke up with a mean stomachache and a heavy pressure all over my body, and really keeled over kind of pain. Also, I'm still struggling with heading towards the Daniel fast, but I'm a vegetarian now, just putting it down to damage limitation, as long as I'm staying away from meat, flesh and animal fats. I are having coleslaw and a baked potato and lots of salad, which is dairy and could contain steroids in the milk. I have to rely on my water supply, which tastes foul sometimes. I won't buy bottled water because it's still processed and could contain this and that kind of awful thing in it. And I'm still eating bread, so I'm trying to head towards it, but I'm under a lot of stress at the moment, and eating is usually my valve for letting off steam. Like with the major chains of supermarkets heading towards cashless checkouts, could we be heading towards a beast system now where you are forced to buy your produce via a tube? Now that it is an oncoming way, do we follow faith or fear? Where we follow the fear system, where we are being locked down, or do we take matters into our own hands, where we source and make produce of our own and strip down to only vegetables and grains, and steer away from hedonistic pursuits for a while till an honest sort of society has been back restored into the country, like produce that we produce ourselves, like with farms and stuff like that. I've also had my first blatant threat of violence towards me today. Someone dropped something out, related to a local church, and it wasn't very nice. God wants people to tell the truth and put their lives and lies on the line, come back home to him, but I know God will take good care of me, for this stuff is being exposed, and he's blatantly shown me angels that are protecting me, and showed me a locked gate with a military presence. And because of the warfare going on in my mind and body, being in the helm, there is now a link up with other famous musicians, artists, that are using their own string theory to join the dots together, as they are trapped in the helm, being controlled by physical and internal pain. Now there is a battle between Tom and my own kingdom spouse, as my own kingdom spouse is still with his own kingdom wife, and they're using the helm to try and kill me, amongst others who are doing witchcraft via the helm. Tom and his team are using my channel with the word coding and linking it together with other song titles, especially with a science theme. In relation to the Hadron Collider, it is similar to the film Theory of Everything, to try and get me and him out the helm. And now it's clear cut that my ex-kingdom spouse is not operating on his lukewarm faith to walk away from this woman who is his handler, hurting us, ending the promise between me and him. He could walk away and stop torturing me, but he won't. He wants to stay with this person. God is using the pressing down to get all people who are being controlled by the helm in the music industry and so on, could be politicians, etc., anyone of high standing, to start standing up and fighting this thing by lifting up their heads and not cowering down if they can help it, putting their heads down when the pain gets too much, and putting their heads up when they can get on with it and can manage the pain. Also, these stars are married off to demonic kingdom wives and husbands who use sex to capture and control them, and so on, who are abusive and watch them closely and report anything to the captors that's amiss. They are also coerced to sleep with astral projected images of people or feeling them physically, who are often abused through fear. There's a video that sums up being coerced into sex and haunting hands all over them. So it's like a spiritual feeling of someone else's hands touching you up and doing other sexual awful things, and you are a literal sexual slave in the helm, not only probably in physical life as well, but in spiritual life. So that's the update from me for today. Thank you.